let's just get it cracking from the jump then, because let's talk about trouble in paradise, man. The Brooklyn Nets. A lot of people seeing them as the dragon, the three-headed dragon the Lakers will have to go to win their 18th championship this season. And it was looking scary. Last show, we had just seen KD and James Harden go off for the first time, and it was unbelievable, you know. But somebody's come back into that three-headed dragon, and it's Kyrie Irving. And there's some alarming stuff going on, man. If you look at Kyrie Irving's numbers, 37, 38, and 28 over the last three games since his return, you would say, oh, man, he's balling, you know. But it's not about Kyrie right now. The fact that James Harden has to take a back seat to Kyrie Irving is blasphemous. Shout out my boy Stephen A. Smith. That is really crazy to me because if I look over at my guy James Harden's numbers since the return of Kyrie, he's got 21, 19, and 12. He's taking like less than, you know, his normal. He's only taken. He hasn't taken over 14 shots since the return of Kyrie Irving, which is basically unheard of for James Harden. If we're talking about, you know, the guy that James Harden is, get into his spots and get into his buckets, he's been deferring a lot to Kyrie Irving. I know that Tyler just told me that he didn't take a shot in the first quarter, man. Like James Harden, and that's just like really cancerous for that team. I think it's really bringing them down. But it makes my heart happy because as a Laker fan, we are rolling, folks. 9-0 on the road. I feel great, man. We took a tough L to Golden State on Tuesday, but I think it was a needed L. We played like garbage, man. We thought that we were too good for them, but it's all right. It's all right. And the guy that I want to talk about today specifically for the Lakers is a guy that gets a lot of slander, man, and it's time for it to stop. This is a safe space for Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma has earned the respect of the league, and I'm going to tell you why, man. Kyle Kuzma is doing things for the Laker team that he has not done in the past at a high level, and it is really, really coming into the clutch where you don't really see stats show up. I mean, I guess you can watch the stats. Specifically, the stat I'm talking about is his rebound production, but you don't really think about it in like, oh, he's like, you know, you think of Kyle Kuzma when he first came into the league, it was about scoring. You thought he was going to be a really good third option to play with LeBron and AD. Didn't really pan out that way. And because of that, you know, he got a lot of hate. He got a lot of hate for his offensive game, his lack of development with his ball handling, poor shot selection, the Magic Johnson passes where he just throws the ball out of bounds. I'm like, the more I'm talking, I feel like I'm slandering him, so I got to chill out. But let's just look at his rebounds, man. His rebounds are crazy right now. It's the best part of his game. He's been over double-digit rebounds this season 4 times, which is like unbelievable. Kyle Kuzma is a guy that's averaged, you know, about 4 rebounds a game his whole career. So for him to come off with a season high, he had 13. It was his career high in rebounds as well the other night. And those things are huge for the Lakers. Those things are huge because you're talking about a guy who's 6'9", who can guard pretty effectively now. I wouldn't say the 1 position, but the 2 through 4, he's doing a pretty solid job just defending that on the wing and in the post. You know, he's not a strong guy, but he's giving a lot of effort. And another thing that's really up for him this year is his career highs in blocks this year, man. It's unbelievable. He's a guy that you wouldn't think is really very good at defending the rim, but he's been able to do so at a high level. So Kyle Kuzma, man, if you're out there, if you're listening to this, bro, I apologize for last year because I slandered you more than like anybody I know. Well, it's time to stop. No more. This is it. This is an official bug announcement. No more slandering Kyle Kuzma. It's over. And then, yeah, we got to stop, man. We just got to stop. We got to stop. But the last thing I want to talk about with the Lakers is just like, Anthony Davis has had a very, very hard start to the NBA season for numerous reasons. He says that he can't find a rhythm in his free throw or his jump shooting. It's very evident on the floor. He's staying aggressive, but he's getting really flustered in double teams. He's seen a lot of doubles this year in the post. And he's starting his post way too high, man. He's getting that post at like the elbow or like extended, even like sometimes in the 3-point line. And it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. But if he continues to break out, like yesterday, I think was a huge game for him going back home to Chicago. He had 23 first half points, finished with 37, man. Like, just like murdering the Chicago Bulls last night. And if that AD can show up on a consistent level for the Los Angeles Lakers, I don't really see a stop in sight. And we saw what they did to the Milwaukee Bucks. Prayers up for Giannis because he's going through something right now. LeBron James has been showing up in Giannis's nightmares. You know, we need to tuck Giannis in with a nightlight and kiss him on the forehead goodnight because he is having night terrors about LeBron James. And so is the rest of the league. So from here to Lakerland, you know what it is. Nets, Lakers, trending upwards again, man. We love to see it. All right, my boys, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Justice. But before you head out, don't go just yet. I gotta play devil's advocate. I'm not picking up Kuzma on my team.
Oh,
I'm not picking up Kuzma on my. Hear me out. He's got a career low in minutes so far, which is that's probably good for him. That's good coaching by the Lakers. Career low in minutes. He's hitting a career high in three-point percentage, but he's down in free throw percentage. He's down in rebounds. He's down in assists. He's up in blocks. I'll give him that. Down in steals. I mean, is he gonna make it right this year? Is he gonna fix his shot? Is he gonna turn it around from his last 4 years of his career? Is this year gonna be Kuz's year?
Listen. This year in the playoffs, I think that Kyle Kuzma will show the Laker Nation why he's there. He is down in minutes, and I think that is, like you said, excellent coaching by Frank. He was playing too many last year in valuable times, and he was too bad of a defender. But I think his shot is falling, man. He's shooting it with a lot of confidence. And that's one thing that I really like this year. Every time Kyle's shooting the ball, it's looking all right, that might go in. Well, last year when he was shooting the ball, I was like, dude, pass. I need you not to do that ever, you know? It's the confidence that Kyle has this year. I think it could come up big. Will it be the breakout year that, everybody, every year, Kyle Kuzma's breakout year, every year, people talk about it. Will it be that? I just don't think so. I still think we might have to move him in the offseason. But I hope he can stay and get another ring, man. He's a solid young player, man. He goes to a team like Detroit. I can see him averaging, 18, 19 a game,
Yeah. I mean, he's still young. Not saying his career is going to be shit the entire career, but right now he's struggling a little bit. And if he doesn't perform in the playoffs, Shaq is going to have his way with him because he was giving him all kinds of stuff last year.
It's not just Shaq; it's those Twitter fingers too, man. They're going to apart.
They don't stop.
Dude, not for Kyle, man. Not for Kyle.
All right, Jesse.
Yeah, but actually, also want to see one thing before Justice leaves, because I wanted to go with the first point. We talked about the Nets, just to kind of bring up and have someone on the discussion. Like when James Harden tweeted out scary hours about the Nets when it was just him and KD, everyone thought it was good. The scary hours now with Kyrie Irving back is them on the defensive end. I am worried because even if those three figure out a way and the shots go up, they prove that they right now cannot guard anybody.
No.
They KD has to do most of the work there. James Harden and Kyrie, liabilities. They'll get blown by. And the issue to me with the Nets games is we're gonna talk about Colin Sexton a little bit later on the show. But it wasn't like they're running this nice offense and going through, all these progressions. They weren't setting up anything nice. In the end of that game, they were rolling the ball to Colin Sexton and making him basically play king of the court with the Nets. And that's Jeff Green included. KD took a shot. All of them were just lining up. They couldn't stop this guy.
It's Colin Sexton. No disrespect.
No disrespect. It's
Colin Sexton. It's Colin Sexton.
It is Colin Sexton, but still, at some point, that's just not going to cut it. They just can't let one guy back-to-back games consistently roast you like that without even making it hard for him. I mean, they tried. I'll say they tried. They were there. He hit some tough shots, but most of that game was towards the end of that game, there was no other option. He scored 20 consecutive points against them?
20 consecutive in OT and double OT, man.
You can't let that happen if you're gonna beat the Lakers.
Listen, I totally agree with you, man. Defensively, I think the Brooklyn Nets had a problem before the Harden trade. I think they have a problem that's even worse after the Harden trade with Kyrie back. Like you said, they're getting blown by, man. And it's not even the blow-bys because you know what? Like, Kyrie Irving's getting blown by his whole career. He hasn't even been a championship. James Harden getting blown by his whole career. You know, he's got numerous trips to, pretty deep in the final or deep in the West, and like, so it's not the blow-bys. It's the rim protection that gets me, man. It's the lack of depth there. They don't have bigs. They have DeAndre Jordan. Give me a break, I think that trading Jared Allen was like, if there was another way that trade could happen where they were able to keep Jared Allen as a rim protector on that team, I think that if they ran that set and they played big with Jared Allen and DeAndre on the floor just to clog up the middle, I think it could work. Yeah. But it can't work without that, man. DeAndre Jordan, and we're talking about defenders. Joe Harris is not a good defender. No. So you got 4 guys out there that are just not good defenders. DeAndre Jordan, I watched him pick up like 4 fouls in 15 minutes the other day, And I'm like, this is your starting center. Like, this is not going to cut it. One thing to notice is that they did get that $5.7 million back from Spencer. So if, a buyout target, I thought maybe they would go with, Alex Len, but Carl's Wizards swooped in, signed the man. I thought that was a really good option for them. I think Alex Len, he defends the ball, the rim pretty well. Cheap guy. They paid one of the Wizards paid him like $2 million, $1 million bucks. It's nothing. I thought that should have been an easy no-brainer.
Yeah, and to relate this all back to fantasy, like some of the Nets' struggles come from James Harden turning the ball over. In his last 10 games, he's almost got 6 turnovers a game, which is 3rd. Russell Westbrook on Carl's Wizards is 1st. But yeah, James Harden's turning the ball over a lot. There's not enough ball to go around in Brooklyn. And DeAndre Jordan is the only true center on the Nets, and he's only playing 24 minutes a game since the Big 3 came. So I don't know what the Nets are thinking with their rotation. Joe Harris is probably going to maintain his spot in the starting lineup, and the dude can't defend for anything. So I guess they're trying to be the Golden State Warriors, and where they're going to try and outscore you, and they don't care if they beat you on defense.
And just one more thing on that, man. I don't know how I feel about Steve Nash. I'm going to say it. I just don't know if he can control that locker room, man. I don't know if the going gets tough there with Steve Nash. We've seen James Harden mad before. We've seen Kyrie angry before at their coaches. And I think Steve Nash, I'm a Hall of Fame guy, I got some hate because, ruined my Lakers season that year, but that's all right. But I think he'll fold like a table, man. I think he'll fold like a lawn chair when the going gets tough. And I think he'll let them do whatever they want, man. And that's just not going to work. I don't think they're going to win the East anymore.
Man, that's some strong words. I still got the Celtics or the Heat coming out of the East. I'm not even worried about the Nets, but that's some strong words. We might have to at Steve Nash with that one. We're going to have to clip that and at Steve Nash.
Send that to Canada. Send that one to Canada. Send it to Canada and tell them we want certified lover boy too. We want it all.
All right, bro. Justice, you got anything you want to say to people before you head out?
As always, Laker Nation, the best team in the NBA. If Anthony Davis comes back, spooky season. Shout out THT again to go back to Chicago yesterday. 10 points, always a good shout out for THT. Always a great shout out. Alex Caruso shooting number 1% for 3-point percentage in the NBA this year. DOB, best out, baby. You already know what it is. DOB gang, more life.
Peace out, bro. Peace out.